everyone. I'm Olma.
Mark.
Shreya.
Flynn.
Cleric. And I'm your DM, Ethan. Welcome to Venture Forth. Previously, you all had traveled into the nation of Kaldor, stopping by the town of Blackpool on your journey to figure out what was going on with these crystals that were housing these souls. You guys had learned of a warehouse that the original warehouse was burned down, courtesy of Olma and March, but you learned of a secondary warehouse out in the swamp that you guys are currently in. You guys had begun your travel out to this secondary warehouse owned by the Banuk tribe. And upon traveling to it, you guys had encountered a creature, a half-orc by the name of Drek, who had sprung a bit of a trap for you guys in planting this staff with rings that created these mud monsters that were familiar to each of you, possibly based off of memories of people who you once knew. You guys had defeated these mud monsters and come upon Drek himself, who had given you guys an ultimatum: come with him alive or dead. After a bit of back and forth, he divulged some information about what was going on with these crystals, that his team was actually trapped inside them, that they were after a locksmith, and after not being able to find the locksmith, they traveled to his son, who is a lieutenant in the Kaldorian army. After trying to interrogate him, they were actually captured and trapped into these crystals. Drek got away, so he was hunting down the crystals. So you guys ended up coming to blows with Drek, and after both Shreya and Olma fell, Flynn became possessed by one of these crystals after March decided to destroy both of them, the two remaining crystals that you had. One of the spirits seemingly was destroyed on impact, while the other one consumed Flynn. And after Flynn grew these purple jagged horns that now come out of his forehead, he fought for control and got control of his body back. After this long and hard-fought battle, you guys walked about 5 minutes or so until you just barely saw the warehouse that you guys are looking for on the horizon, just through the fog of the swamp. You guys sat down, and some of you guys came to peace with your past. Some of you guys found new strength in the battle that you guys had just fought. And as you guys are sitting there, what would you like to do?
If the rest of the gang is talking amongst ourselves, I'd like to quietly make my way back to the scene of combat.
Okay. It's only a couple minutes away, so you can wander off for a minute and make your way back there.
And I'll look to see if Drek's body is where we left it.
It is in the exact same position that you left it. You can see right next to it on either side these jagged pieces of rock where you and Olma were once trapped, and his charred body laying there. And
he is burnt and singed from lightning as well, right? Something like that. And
yeah.
Poison.
Yeah, he's pretty toasted.
Having recently heard a voice in my head and thinking hard on it, I'll kneel in front of his body and observe his visage, see the pained look in his eyes as his life was taken from him violently, and I'll observe the damage to his flesh. And I'll close my eyes and listen and hear nothing. And I'll look up at the overcast sky of this swamp and the diluted light. And I'll whisper, "This creature was mighty and cruel. I have no doubt his hands were stained with gallons of blood. But in your grasp, he will be one and the same with those he harmed." May they all rest peacefully in the Argent Plains. Quies. And I will place my hand on his corpse and slowly disintegrate the burnt flesh into ashes.
Right. And now before you lays a pile of ash where his body once was.
Thank you. And I will head back.
And as you stand up and turn away, you feel just a gentle gust of wind that sort of comes up from now your front that you've turned away and blows the ashes off into the opposite direction. And you make your way back to the rest of the group, who is still sitting there recovering from the battle.
If I recall, Flynn had woken up a little bit in a panic, correct?
He was just starting to doze off and like closing his eyes, but then, sort of jolted himself back into consciousness.
I will have been directly next to him still, and I've just been sort of just relaxing, closing my eyes, opening, relaxing, closing my eyes, just very like resting. And I just want to take a hand and place it over on Flynn's chest and just say, "You're all right, Flynn, you're still here. You're still here."
I can't. I just keep hearing the banging. I can't every time I close my eyes. Can't.
I'm going to kind of look around at everyone, and then I want to lean closer to Flynn and go, "If you don't tell anybody, I can attempt to sing a lullaby to help you sleep. But if you tell anybody, I will kill you."
100% sing me a lullaby. It will definitely work.
Then I'm going to attempt to sing him a lullaby. I mean, I physically right now have to sing him a lullaby because I have too much. I have so much respect for you guys.
Go for it.
March, Flynn, you sit there and you hear March very quietly. March, what languages do you know?
Common, Draconic, Giant, and Orc.
Okay. March, you recall a song that your mother used to sing to you in Giant. And Flynn, as you are sitting there, slowly under her breath, she begins sort of singing this beautiful little lullaby. Lots of in the Giant language, lots of long, drawn out vowels, and it's very beautiful and melodic.
I imagine it almost goes with the beat of the banging in my head, so it kind of helps masks it. It's kind of like
it definitely does. Yes.
I just close my eyes and kind of lay there while she's singing, and you see, like, for the first time in like a few hours, you see like kind of a smile. Recently, I've been kind of down in the dumps, and with the lullaby, you kind of see that like little beginnings of a smile as I rest.
As your guys' short rest comes to an end, is there anything that you guys would like to do? Anything else?
I'm gonna come up to March, sit next to her, listen to her lullaby. Haven't heard it in a while. And I'm gonna turn. March, you remember the house we went to, right?
I'm going to snap out of my sort of glazed look and go, house. Oh, yeah. God, that was ages ago.
Yeah,
it feels like, doesn't it?
Well, I found some letters. Is there anything else you can remember from there that might help us? I can't really remember anything else.
The letters. I forgot you had the letters.
Well, I didn't really need them. I just wanted them. I didn't know they were gonna, help us now, obviously.
Have you read them recently?
No.
Have you read them at all?
No, because we went to Blackpool so quickly after getting them. There wasn't really a lot of time, and then, I blew up a warehouse, and then we ended up in a war
did do that.
front, and then running for our lives. So there's just been a lot going on. I haven't really had time to look at them.
Why don't you give me the shortest one? I can read fast, maybe.
Okay, here you go.
It's in a language I know. I would like to take the shortest of all of them and see if I can just really quickly glance over it and see if there's anything in there that would be beneficial for us.
Okay, so you're just taking the one with the least amount of writing on it.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The shortest one is just a couple sentences long, and it's more just like dashed notes. This is a letter from Cale Drumwind to his father, Bram Drumwind. The father is the man's whose house you guys had previously been to. The note, stamped with an official Kaldurian seal, just says, create no more keys for Hollowguard. The locks must be resealed. I have lost all communication with our friend in Addersfeld. I fear Kaom Artemisia has turned.
What?
I'm going to read that 3 more times. And just go, what? Oma, read this one. It's really short. And I'm going to quickly hand it back to Oma.
Have I returned at this point?
No, that would have been a couple minutes.
What was the name?
The name at the end was Kaom Artemisia. K-A''O-M. Artemisia. A-R-T-E-M-I-S-I-A.
Where did we get these notes or these letters from again?
You didn't get them. I got them.
They're from
when March and I went through Bram's house.
Oh, okay. So this is okay.
Way before we met.
Before
Okay,
we
just
met you
for
guys.
notes.
Some shit went down. So I'm gonna I'll hand it back to Oma and be like, Oma, read this again. Just read this one really quick. Is it dated, DM? I know that's a weird question. Is it dated at all?
No. None of the letters that you see back and forth have any dates on them.
Okay. I'm just gonna hand it back to Oma.
Okay. So Bram was creating keys for Hollowguard. Okay, so that's the connection there. So maybe the Warfront was working with Hollowguard at some point and then stopped? I don't know. Kaom Artemisia, our friend in Addersfeld. Do you think it's possible that our friend in Addersfeld is connected to the burning building in Addersfeld and the potions that we found?
It very well could be. I mean, it feels a little coincidental, but you know.
He's a lieutenant in the Kaldurian army. I can't imagine he'd be a spy in Kaldur. I mean, that seems crazy, right? It seems more like there's a Kaldurian soldier in Addersfeld. Don't you think? I mean, I guess.
It could be either or. I mean, look at us. We thought we were going to stick around with Kara and Ara and all of them for a long time and then realized that was not going to happen pretty quickly, so.
Yeah, maybe. Let me look at another one and see. I'm going to open another letter. How many do I have total? I don't know.
You have 5 total.
Whoa!
Wow.
Okay. Is Cleric back yet? Because I'll hand some to him.
Yes, Cleric just returned.
I'm going to hand a couple to him.
Hi, Oma. Yeah. You said you got these from where again?
Bram's house.
Bram is the locksmith's son.
No. Bram is the locksmith. His
Oh.
son is Kale.
Kale. All right. So these are from Bram's house. He is the locksmith who designed the locks on the warehouse.
I don't know. I I don't know where he designed locks for.
So why were you sent to his house exactly?
They didn't tell us. They never tell us anything. They just said, go to this place, find the guy, find some keys. But we couldn't find anything. These are all I found, these letters. So I figured...
How did you
maybe I'll
get
take
into the warehouse then?
Oh, that makes sense. Well, but we couldn't find him, and I didn't find any keys, so I don't think I found any keys. March, did we find keys?
Not to my knowledge, no. No.
So I don't know.
So what does the locksmith Bram have to do with anything?
I don't know. He's making keys for Hollow Guard somehow, but
All right.
maybe if we keep reading, we'll find
all right.
out.
I just wanted to make sure I understood the context of what the letter is.
Yeah, but there's nothing to understand because I don't understand any of it.
Right, but you might understand something and just not have put two and two together. You know, you never know. With our combined knowledge, we might be able to come up with something else.
I like to think I put things together fairly often.
That you do. And I'll read the letter she has handed me.
Okay. The letters that she's handed you, all of them basically, in summary, are most of them. The shortest one that March had read was definitely like the most to the point. The rest of them are a little bit longer, some like formalities in the beginning. Hello, Father. Hello, Son. How are you doing? I hope all things are well with you. And then after that, you find within the letters that she handed you, you find one mention of Kaom Artemisia.
From Kale to Bram, saying that.
From Kale to Bram, yes.
Bram received the potions? So maybe Bram went to Addersfeld.
DM, did I see potions in the consular chamber?
Yes, you would have. Yeah.
And would I know what?
All different kinds. You wouldn't have gotten a good look or
No
have been
one
able to
from the
study
other?
them
Yeah.
at all. But you would have seen a myriad of different potions.
This is quite a striking coincidence. What did your letters mention? Kaom Artemisia.
The short one did. The short one said that our to not make any more keys for the Hollow Guard, and that their friend in Addersfeld has gone silent. I think they feared that he had turned. I don't know what that means. And that Kaom. I don't remember something about Kaom Artemisia.
I will silently hand this short letter to Cleric for his reference.
Does it just add up to what Alma said, that there was some correspondence between Kale and Artemisia and Bram, and that it was am I understanding correctly that it was like cordial and then something shifted?
That's correct. From what you can surmise of these letters, it seemed like the son, Kale, had more of the relationship with Artemisia and was sort of filtering information then to his father. And then, yeah, somewhere along the line, the relationship shifted.
Between everyone? Like Kaom might have turned on them? Or our friend in Addersfeld is a different person?
It seems from what you guys can surmise is that some sort of relationship between Kale and Artemisia shifted. That's about what you can get.
What were they up to? I wish you knew why you went to their house to get their...
Well, we never knew anything. I never talked to the leaders at the Hollow Guard.
I understand. I too wish I'd asked more questions.
I mean, maybe we could go find this Cal guy and talk to him.
Maybe so. In the interest of not keeping you in the dark, Kaom Artemisia, Kaom is not a name, it's a title.
Oh. What does it mean?
It is the highest honor, the highest station of a cleric of Famir.
The old god?
Aye.
Why is the person of the highest order of an old god talking to a lieutenant for Kaldur?
Indeed.
That doesn't make any sense.
But then something went sour between them. I wish I knew the timeline.
So you're saying this silver tongue potion was made by a cleric of Famir?
Do you think it's all related? That's a pretty big leap to go to. It was just a random burnt building. Barracks.
Sure, I guess so. Well, what other potion would they have received? They could have received anything, any kind of potion, I guess.
Any kind.
But they mentioned their friend in Addersfeld might have turned, so...
I can confirm that something changed with Frida Artemisia.
Something changed with Artemisia?
Aye.
How do you know that?
Because I saw it.
Do you know this person?
She was one of the women I looked up to most in my life.
Was she the mud thing or no?
No. But, she was a grand, wonderful leader of the church. We were strong under her judgment and her kindness and her grace. And then one day I went into the consular chamber to refill a lantern with oil, and I don't know it. She was doing some kind of blood magic. Something awful. And before I could put two and two together, I blacked out. And when I woke in the scope later, I immediately reported her to my ka'a, my higher ranking clergyman, and well, long story short, here I am now.
Did they send you to the war after that?
Yes, they we go where we're needed. But there's always politics, right? And I was lucky to be kept in the ranks at all.
But it sounds like you saw something that shouldn't be happening and you reported it and then they punished you.
She didn't do anything. She wasn't even there.
What do you mean?
She was reported elsewhere. You know, she's a high-profile woman of esteem, and the temple, you know, moves us about in ways that are heavily tracked, and she was out on other matters.
But someone looked like her?
I don't know. That's just what I was told. And they went to the consular chamber, and no evidence was found of the blood. I don't know what happened. I saw it. It was there. It was real. And she defied every principle of Famir. But maybe it wasn't her. Maybe I don't know how Famir allowed it to happen in her walls. I don't know. But Artemisia, it's either someone replaced her, maybe, and is subverting the church from within, perhaps. Maybe that's why she was working with Caldor, and then it changed when she came back. But I don't know. Wait, I don't know. We need to find this Cal fella.
I would like to just put a big hand on Calic's shoulder, just in like a sort of reassuring manner.
I will put my hand on top of Marge's hand.
Well, do we need anything from the warehouse now?
Perhaps, these different factions you speak of, one faction of the church, and Caldor just seems to be one very large faction or tribe to me. Perhaps this Banuk tribe, since they seem to have dealings with all of the different factions, perhaps they might be able to be a good potential resource to figure out where some of these individuals are. They seem to run between a lot of the different ones, including, and I point toward Ulma and Marge, the faction that we now know you come from.
It's not a bad idea.
Well, originally we wanted to go into the warehouse to see if we could find some more evidence of the crystals and find out who made the crystals, and now we know who made the crystals. Kind of.
Can this warehouse point us in the direction of Cal? That's the question.
It's possible.
I mean, maybe, or the people can. What if, we have that stamp. We could, create a letter and say that we have a really important letter to give to them.
Do we know how this tribe conducts their trades? Are they open with how they operate, or are they, what's the word I've heard, secret trading or smuggling? That's what I believe. I believe it is.
Do we know any of that from working with the Hollow Guard?
You wouldn't have had any direct interaction with the Banuk tribe.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know anything about them.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Let's lead with the truth, shall we?
Yeah.
We've no reason to suspect these Banuk folks are as ill as these other creatures we've come in contact with.
Yeah.
If anything, it seems like they have a hostile relationship with the Hollow Guard.
Sure. Does anyone need to be smoother in talking than they were, or not? Do we think we'll just be fine?
Yeah, actually, on that, maybe we don't tell all the truth. And as I'm saying that, before we head off, I put my backpack down and I take my cloak and I kind of flip it upside down. So the cloak part is still on my neck, but the cape is hanging up over my head, and I'm gonna attempt to wrap it around my head as a kind of turban-esque type of wrap to hide the horns.
I'd say we should give it to Flynn. The short one might need a little bit of extra oomph. We appear.
You think we should give it to Flynn? He's got a thing in his head.
And with that gut up, he might need to be more convincing in his conversation.
I could also just not talk. That's also an option.
You not talking?
I'll try to not talk.
Shreya, before you mentioned maybe doing a flyby to get a glimpse of the place, do you think you could do it quietly?
Absolutely, as long as I'm not carrying anyone like either.
Why
of
don't
the
you
short
take the
ones.
potion with you, just in case you get caught?
Here you go.
Sure, I would love. It shimmers.
Oh, geez.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I forgot about the shattering.
I may have a tough time taking this.
Off with you, Shreya. I kind of shoo him.
And then I'm kick into the air and gonna go scout from above.
Okay.
Stealthily, I suppose.
Yeah, make a stealth check.
Playing stealth check. That is a 12.
12. Okay. As you... Let me see. Roll for these guys. All right. So as you fly up and begin to sort of fly within the trees over towards the warehouse, you see these two, now at this point it's very clear, two Goliaths sitting at sort of the front entrance of this warehouse. Both of them have like no shirts on, but a thick hide pelt over their shoulders. You see both of them carrying these huge war hammers, sort of similar in size to what March carries. And you can't really make out their conversation, but you hear them talking to one another. And they don't seem to notice you.
Yeah, can I take a look and see if there's anything on the top of the structure? What do I see on the top of the structure, the upper sides of it? Are there any windows or anything?
Not necessarily windows. You do see a couple of like wooden hatches that, might open up and lead down into the warehouse itself.
I'm gonna swoop over to one of those hatches.
Okay. And as you land on top, you reach down and you open up one of these openings, and it pretty much opens directly into the warehouse. There is a ladder that goes straight down to the ground floor, and you see inside just boxes on boxes on boxes on boxes, most of them stamped or sort of branded and burned in with this symbol of the badger. And most of them locked up in just these crates, lots of big crates, lots of small crates, all different sizes.
Are there any people or humanoids inside?
You don't see anyone inside. No.
I don't see anyone. Okay. Smaller fighting force potentially. All right. I'm going to fly back over to my party stealthily.
Okay.
What?
So Shreya gets back, lands back on the
What's the
ground.
word, Shreya?
There are two larger beings guarding the door. But on the inside, I was able to take a look and see that there's no one on the inside, or no one that I could see through a hatch on the roof. There's no one on the inside of the structure.
A hatch on the roof? Well, you could go up there with Homa.
Or I could take 2 trips and we could have both of the short ones.
So I don't know if I'm really into this short one description. Can we come up with a new word?
I mean, with the horns, you're maybe a couple inches taller.
I'll just say short and slightly menacing from now on.
It's an improvement. I'll take it.
Why don't we just all talk to maybe we go the way of the one guy? There's like one guard, and we try to talk to him, and if we can't talk our way in, we...
March hits him over the head with a stick.
But don't hurt him too bad.
When you say big,
Right.
Shreya, how big?
They actually more or less resembled you.
Goliaths?
Yes. Hammers as well.
Oh. Well, it's been a while, but... All right.
March, do you want to maybe lead?
Sure. Might
Do
as
we
well.
all want to approach, or should some of us stay hidden? Stay back until we know it's safe.
I think it makes sense for you to hang back, Flynn. You don't want anyone to get the wrong idea.
Yeah.
And I sort of pat him on the turban.
Are they hidden well enough? But do you see? I can't see the top of my head.
You look strange, Flynn.
Yeah, I know.
they're covered, but I just kind of like I try to like make it look a little more like a hat than a folded cloak.
Thanks.
All right. So who is approaching with March up to the building itself?
I'll go.
I'll go up top with Shreya, I guess.
Okay. And Flynn, which way are you going? Or are you staying back completely?
I'll plan to go with the top route, I guess, if we're doing that. Or are we hanging back first and then seeing what happens and then going up top? Or are we going up top at the same time that they're going up to talk? What's the plan? Are we doing this simultaneously, or are we waiting to see what happens when she talks to the guards? Okay.
I was thinking,
and we could watch. We could watch from up
Simultaneous.
top.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Can you carry 2 people up, or if they're? Because I think I'm only like 30 or 40 pounds. I can't remember what it was, or do you have to make 2 trips?
It'd probably be 2
I'll
trips. Yeah.
Stay hidden in an area where you can come back and get me if you choose, but I want to keep the group that is talking in my eyesight.
Yeah, I would like to be when we're up top. I would like to be watching to make sure they can get in. Before I go up with Shreya, I'm going to hand 2 of the silver tongue potions, 1 to Cleric and 1 to March, just in case you need it.
Good idea.
Okay.
I'm going to give
All right,
one. Actually, I have
that,
5 total, so I'm going to give 1 to everyone. We all have 1.
Okay. All right. So with that,
I'm
March
just gonna
and Cleric.
take mine. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna commit to it.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna just put it in right in here in my front pocket.
All right. So for the next 10 minutes, you have advantage on any charisma checks that you make.
Okay.
That have to do with, persuasion or intimidation, anything of that sort. So with that, March and Cleric, you guys approach the building, and as you guys do, you guys are approaching the side with the 1 guard, correct?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Yes.
very similar to what Shreya saw on the other side. Large Goliath, appears to be male, shirtless with a hide over his shoulders. And as you guys approach, you guys see that this is actually parts of a bear hide. You can see the head on one shoulder, and you see a big paw on the other shoulder. And as you guys approach, he says, "State your business."
Just wandering. Sorry. Hello. What's your name?
State your business. If you're just wandering, the path is in the other direction.
And I am going to slightly freeze up and look to Cleric to kind of.
Right. Hello there, sir. My name is Cleric. This is my associate, March. We are just coming to you from Blackpool, where we noticed that your warehouse met an unpleasant fate. And as we are sort of travelers, group of adventurers, or pair of adventurers, if you will, we wondered if there was some aid you might need on that front. Seek out those who did you wrong, for example.
Do you have any information on who burned down our previous building? If so, I would advise you state it.
Aye. Well, we've come into contact with a certain unpleasant force of beings who reside in crystals. And I will watch his face to see if anything changes when I say that.
Okay. Make a persuasion check for me. At advantage.
Sweet mother of Mary, that advantage. The first roll was a 3.
What was the total?
So the second roll was an 18 to a total of, you said persuasion?
Yes.
That is a 24.
Well, I've certainly seen weirder things in my day. you saw this happen yourself.
That's right. I'm something of a medical professional, and we found a body with crystals in it, and they exploded, and the corpse of the person was taken over by a being that existed within them. And we've since tracked that being to your warehouse in Blackpool, and from there we thought we might question the owners of the place on maybe having a mutual aim in preventing any further disturbances of the dead.
Well, you would have to travel quite a ways to get to the owners of this warehouse, but
Where
I don't really see, and he looks around and sort of sees if anyone is around. I don't see the harm in just investigating if you are looking into that. If we're talking about possession, I don't want anything to go unnoticed.
It's certainly a troubling thought. Do you happen to know? Well, firstly, where might I find the owners? How far exactly are we talking?
They travel about. I don't know their exact location at the moment, but they're a bit of travelers.
Right. I
Prefer the higher altitudes as well.
Higher altitudes. I know some that also like the skies. Is there anything you might be able to share? I understand we just met about the why these crystals might have been stored in the warehouse in Blackpool.
We transport any number of different items for high-paying clients. We don't ask what's in them, and we just deliver them to their location. We are known for our high security, so when something like what happened in Blackpool happens, it's quite embarrassing, and we try and get to the bottom of it as soon as possible. I don't know of any crystals. I would assume a lot of crystals and gems and things of high value come through here every day, but we don't inspect the packages, we just deliver them.
And is the discretion of that the fact that you don't know what's in the warehouse, is that part of the appeal of using your services?
That is correct.
Well, then I hate to ask, but I happen to be able to cast a spell that can search for an item that resembles something that I've seen. And because I've seen these crystals, I can cast that spell, and I won't have to rifle through your warehouse. But I need to go inside to cast the spell and just see if I can find these dangerous items. And then maybe we wouldn't need to take them or anything of that nature, but we could simply just alert you that they're present here and that they're capable of horrendous things, some of the worst things I've ever seen.
Make one more persuasion check for me. At advantage.
Sweet. That's a 21.
Nice.
I don't see the harm. As long as you don't rifle through anything, as long as you don't open anything, I don't see the harm in casting a spell.
I appreciate that.
Oh, no,
you can keep
never.
an eye on me the entire time. I'll not touch a single box.
All right. And he turns and he opens the doors behind him. Opening the doors, you see, just as Shrai had saw, crates on top of crates on top of crates on top of crates. Most of them with intricate locks and seals, and you can even see on some of them like normal locks that are surrounded by runes as an extra level of magical security to them. But yeah, he invites you in.
Are Flynn and Oma and myself on the roof at this point?
Yes, you guys at this point, all three of you are on the roof, and you would have been able to hear this conversation happening, and you are fully aware that they are walking in at this moment.
Is he going to walk in with us?
He seems to be closing the doors behind you, not walking in with you.
Thanks, Cleric. Sorry, it's been a while since I've seen another person looking like me. Kind of froze up there.
Wondering about that. Is that... Did you not grow up among your kind?
No. Not after, a certain point. Anyways, let's find what we're looking for. Let's find it.
All right.
And as he's about to close the door, he sort of pokes his head in and he says, "If you open anything, we'll know." And he closes the door.
We'll walk on eggshells, shall we?
I can't do that so much, but I'll try.
And as he closes the door, coming in from the ceiling, Shreya, Olma, and Flynn begin descending down the ladder. And you guys all meet sort of in the center of this warehouse.
That was quick.
Do we see anybody else in the warehouse?
Nope.
Or how large is it?
Yeah, what kind of space are we talking about? Is it...
Yeah.
This is it's pretty large. So I would say like 75 feet by 100 feet. Just packed wall to wall with crates.
Well, I'll stick to my word. I told the man outside we wouldn't disturb the crates. He also said that they would know, so I suspect there's some sort of magical protection against
I
opening
promise I won't touch anything. And I clasp my hands together.
Flynn
Got
bought
it.
her.
And I'll just stand next to her.
Perhaps we should tie her hands with the friendship rope.
I'm okay. I think I just won't touch anything, and I won't cast any spells, and I'll put my hands in my pockets.
Excuse me. Is anyone there?
Where's that coming from?
Coming from one of the far corners of the room, you hear a muffled voice.
I can't touch anything. I can't help him.
What the hell is that, guys? Is that a person?
See, this is what happened last time. There was a creature in a box.
I hear you there. It's just gonna be one moment.
Hang on.
Olma, just put your hands in your pockets and just... Flynn will
Of
guide
course.
you.
What
Right,
happened? What happened after you noticed there were people in boxes? I'll say that to Olma.
Well, I went to try to help get her out, but sometimes my magic doesn't work so good. So boom.
Okay. Definitely don't touch anything. Cleric, how we doing on that spell?
I can cast it, but I'm a bit distracted by... What did he say? He said it would be just a moment? From inside the box?
Let's go towards it. Which area is it? Can we identify where it's you said it's from a corner?
Yeah, it's sort of off in one of the far corners. And as you guys look, you see a box that's probably about 5 feet long by 3 feet wide.
I'm going to approach it.
Yeah, I'll go up too.
March, don't touch it.
Hello?
Hello. Could you just some assistance, please?
We can't really open anything. Who are you and why are you in a box?
Yeah, what she said.
I just really need really quick. Just can you please just open it for a moment? You can put it right there.
No, I don't think that's gonna work out for us.
Yeah, we need some information first.
What kind of information?
Well, what's your name?
My name is Thaddeus.
Oh, hi Thaddeus. I'm Flynn Felloweve, and I'm part of the Ironlight Collective.
Hi, Flynn.
I mean, Thaddeus.
Flynn!
What? What'd I do?
It's a secret, Flynn.
Cleric.
His name...
It's your
Oh.
organization.
I keep forgetting, I'm sorry. His name's Thaddeus. Thaddeus, why are you in the box?
I don't know. I just woke up in here.
Uh-huh.
We're not allowed to open any boxes.
Oh, this one will be fine. You can just open it and then close it again.
But why?
Don't feel like that's true.
Well, there's some dirt kind of on my face, and I just need someone to wipe it off for me. It's been so long.
Are you buried in a box? Is this a coffin?
No, it's this smudge of dirt on my face, and I just need someone to help me wipe it off.
Why are you in a box, lad?
I don't know.
Guys, I think we should maybe help him.
Hold
Can we
that
try
thought,
to find
Flynn.
the crystals
Yeah.
first?
Yes,
Flynn,
Yeah?
Gallic told him you wouldn't open any boxes. They were being very accommodating to us and letting us in here. I don't think we should
Yeah,
ruin
but
their
that was
trust
before
in
we
us.
found out there's someone locked in a box.
Well, maybe he belongs in a box. You don't know that.
is it better to be alive in a box or dead in a box?
Probably neither.
I don't want to be either in a box. If I have a say in this.
Is it better to be guilty in a box or not guilty in a box?
Dadius, you don't have a say in this because you're in the box. We're debating about the person in the box, which is you. So, shh. We'll get back to you in a
I'll
second.
be quiet now.
Thank you. Jeez.
Cleric, what do you want to do here?
I will pull my little baggie of soot out, and I will pour it into my palm, and I'll pull the bandage away from the palm, and I'll rub the soot around in my hand, and I'll trace the outline of the crystal in it. I don't know if they've been uniform, have they? Are they more or less the same size of crystal, or are they all?
They're just about the same size. Each of them are slightly different, but they're just about the same size.
Okay. Let me actually read this spell here because this might not work. But I'll say Nansiske, and I'll cast Locate Object. An object that is familiar to me. I sense the direction of the object's location as long as that object is within 1,000 feet of me. I can locate it. The spell can locate a specific object known to you as long as you have seen it up close within 30 feet at least once. Alternately, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon.
Okay. So you cast that, and just a couple boxes over from where the yelling is coming from, you pick up a couple of signals, I guess.
Yeah, pings.
Yeah. It pops up, and as you walk over, you see a couple of different boxes of varying sizes, and you can see most of them have been charred, but not to the point where the box is completely destroyed. And you walk up and you see these tiny little slivers of gem that have been lodged into this wood, just like these little hairline fractures of gems that seem to have been plunged into these charred boxes.
There's gem fragments in the boxes, in the charred boxes.
Gem fragments, yes.
And do they resemble the crystals that we've seen? Like they're exploded from that?
The same colors, but what you would get from, I'll say in the locate object spell, and just from looking over them, they don't seem to be active as the other ones were. Mm-hmm. These seem to be just tiny little slivers of what once was, probably not housing anything.
And the soot on my hand, kind of magnetized graphite, is swirling in the direction, and I'm kind of following it like a compass over to these destroyed crystals. Alma, do you think there were more crystals in the other warehouse that you blew up?
I mean, there could have been, but also, I think all those little crystal shards actually came off of one big crystal. So I think maybe this is just particles of that same big crystal.
And how many boxes is it that are like this, that have these, like, the shrapnel in them, basically?
There's about 10 of them.
Oh,
Look.
man. And what kind of sizes are they?
Different sizes.
Okay.
But they all seem to have some sort of charring on the outside, as if they were close to an explosion.
Well, who knows what that explosion might have been
I don't know. Do you think we should collect the shards?
out of all these boxes.
I don't know.
I think
Looking
that
at
counts
them,
as a
like-
disturbance.
Looking at them, you would have to go through, like, almost with a pair of tweezers and, like, individually pick out these tiny little slivers. It would probably take some time.
And we don't think that there's actually anything in them?
They aren't the crystals that you guys had with souls in them had a very distinct glow to them.
Okay.
These do not. These almost resemble, like, if you looked at the ground after March had just smashed those crystals, very similar to that.
Shreya, what do you make of the glow of these things? You're our luminosity expert. Do you think they're
Yeah,
enchanted?
walk
or not?
over. I walk over and take a look and gaze deeply into the fragments and
Grunt. Ugh. I could care less for these.
So nothing.
Right,
Probably
so
not dangerous.
Probably not dangerous.
And you didn't sense anything in the boxes? It's just these things on the outside?
This is I show him my
Oh.
compass. This is the only direction I'm
Well-
being pulled toward. In 1,000 feet.
Well, that's good, right? It means that there's no more prism crystals here.
Yeah.
But we do have one person who seems to be in a prison.
Yeah.
I say we let this Thaddeus fellow out.
Why?
See what kind of fellow he is.
Why?
Well, we either do that or we leave.
We can't leave somebody in a box.
Why not?
I have to agree with Marge there.
Maybe he
It's,
belongs in a box.
Well,
Even-
Alma, imagine if you were stuck in a box. Wouldn't you want someone to let you out?
He seems like a decent being to me.
He's got dirt on his face.
Well, we don't know that that's true, Finn, but being in a box is
Oh.
not a good fate for even the worst of folks. I have to agree with Marge on that.
What do we do about the people out front that said don't touch the boxes?
Well, they don't know what they're shipping, so
But they know who receives them, right? So do you think they might know who was set to receive the crystals?
Do you think there's information about that in here somewhere? Like maybe there's I'll look at some of the boxes. Do they have any writing on them or paperwork attached to them?
No, but sort of kind of in the same corner that you guys are standing, there are a couple of desks with what looks like paperwork and books, things of that sort.
Okay.
Can I look for
I'll
a
walk over that way.
log of some sort?
Yeah.
Yeah, make an investigation check for me.
Can I go with her and look as
Yeah.
well? And like
Then,
give her advantage?
yeah, you can have advantage.
Yeah, sure. I'll just kind of like help push things around and like show you stuff that looks good.
14.
14. Okay. Yeah, you find a log. You find a log of where things are coming from and going to. And it is all dated. So skimming through, you're able to find just about the date that you guys were at the warehouse. You see in the log that, let's see. Give me one moment.
what changed, Marge?
What do you mean?
Why did you... You said you only had exposure to your kind up to a certain point, and then something changed. What changed?
That's a long story. You know, I just talked to Flynn about this earlier. I realize none of you know, but I did have a family once. I did, you know, have a mother and a father. And that mud thing that you saw, the one that looked like me, she wasn't me. She was my twin sister. She's been dead for... God. You saw her. She looks exactly... That's what she looked like the last time I saw her. So, after that, I didn't really get to be around Goliaths too much. I, you know, jumped around here and there.
What happened to her?
What happened to them? My family?
Yeah.
Let's just say that my track record with being around explosions isn't the best.
Olma, you see that the crystals were coming from a Kaldur military outpost to the north called Barren Retreat, shipped through Blackpool and down to another military outpost just south called Blackdale.
Thank you. From Barren Retreat to Blackdale.
Yes.
And sorry, one was in the south to the north. Is that what you said? Or?
It was traveling from the north to the south.
Okay.
From Barren Retreat in the north to Blackdale in the south.
That was the crystals.
Yes.
You got a ledger there, Alma?
Yeah. So
What if this? Is there any marking on the box that I could be like, this is A17 of this dude who's trapped in his?
You look at the box. Looking over it, there are not any sort of magical runes on the outside. It just seems to be a standard padlock.
Any Thaddeus in that ledger there, Alma?
let me check.
Okay. Checking through the ledger, you see that it is being shipped. It was actually was originally from another military outpost, actually, just to the south of Blackdale called Light Grove. Shipped up through Blackpool, and its final destination is meant to be another town up north called Midwall.
And that's the box that has Thaddeus in it?
Yes.
Oh, let's get to the bottom of this. And I'll say Provici, and I'll once again seize that tether of embers out of there and pull down the curtain of Zone of Truth over top of the coffin. And he has to make a charisma save.
Okay. Are you aware if he fails or succeeds that? Are you made aware of that?
Oh,
I think you know if he fails or if he succeeds.
I think it might be DM's choice, though.
Okay, I'll allow you to know.
It says you know whether each creature succeeds or fails on its saving throw. So yes.
What was that? Which saving throw?
It's a 15 to save.
Which
Charisma.
Which saving throw? Charisma? Oh, that is a 13.
Nice.
So he fails.
Well, Thaddeus, you really don't know why someone might have put you in a crate and shipped you?
Well, I might have an idea, but I'm not positive.
Go on.
Well, my thought, I guess, is that the woman who created me, she might want me back.
You're
Created.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you guys opened the box and looked, it might be a little bit more apparent, but that's kind of the situation I have going on.
You've been created.
Do you know who created you?
Yeah, I do.
And what's her name?
Her name is, that's Virgil Redfall.
Okay. You're being shipped to Midwall, Thaddeus. Does that have any significance to you?
Not particularly.
Is that where she is?
Yeah, I'd assume so.
What's her name again?
Virgil Redfall.
Valdra? What kind of name is Valdra?
Well, Thaddeus, if we open just the lid of this box, will you do any harm to anyone? Anyone of them?
I'm sort of incapacitated at the moment, so I don't think I'm much harm to anything.
What are you?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
sort of some pieces have been picked up along the way.
Sounds kind of creepy.
I kind of want to see.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, like open it.
We were told not to open it.
Following rules isn't fun.
I feel like as long as Olma and I don't touch it, then, now it's you guys, and then we can all say that we did something in our
Cleric
house.
shouldn't open it. March shouldn't open it because you both promised. Shreya, Flint, myself, and Oma, we didn't promise to open it. So
Yeah,
Shreya,
I think I shouldn't open any more boxes and warehouses.
I agree.
of course. So Shreya, could you help me open this box that we were told nothing about opening or not opening?
Flynn has a point.
I have 2. They're on my forehead.
Could I use the same magic I used to dry up the swamp to dry out the wood until it's really brittle?
Yeah, you sure can.
Hardly holds
Nice.
together.
Cool.
That's dope.
fucking
Yeah.
cool.
So
We're not technically opening it.
Yeah.
The box is just great.
you cast the spell right around the lock, and you can see all the moisture just begin to be removed from the wood box, and it actually begins to chip and splinter before you even touch it.
Then could I go in with my sword and kind of just pry it a little bit, the dried wood, and kind of pry that off with my sword?
At this point, it's not even a check.
Nice.
The lock just pops right off of the wood.
Could I just pry off one board just so we can see inside?
It's kind of like a lid situation,
okay.
So it's more.
I'll turn to the group.
like just open it all at once.
You guys ready?
if there's a living creature in a box, we can't just sit idly by.
Do it.
March said do it. I flip it open.
Okay. And from inside, you hear, thank you. And looking inside, you see a humanoid body, but it's been like disassembled. You see an arm laying next to a leg, laying next to a torso, laying next to another arm, all made of wood and metal throughout. And in the corner of the box, you see a head that's been completely disconnected from the body, just as the other limbs have been. And the head seems to be the only thing that's active at this point, as you see a metal jaw that transitions then into a wooden faceplate with these deep purple glowing eyes in the box.
By the
And,
gods old and new.
As he looks
That's
up at all of you guys, he says, okay, now can one of you guys just, like, with a rag, like, literally anything, just, I've got this, like, this little bit of dirt, like, it's, like, right under my left eye, and it's been just annoying the hell out of me. Please, just...
I'll go in,
and
I just wipe it off with my finger and use, like, a little bit of my shirt, I guess, and just kind of brush it off.
Oh, thank God. Whoo! Oh, that's much better. Oh, I can breathe again. Wow. And you look to the rest of the body that's disassembled. Most of it is made out of like wood and mechanical parts. But the little pieces of, it almost looks like iron armor on the outside, are polished and completely pristine. And Flynn, as you step away, he looks over the group, and you can sort of see the purple glow in his eyes moving back and forth between all of you. And he rests his eyes on March. And he looks to March and he says, "Oh, whew, Amity, to my rescue once again. Wow, I love what you do with your hair. Where's Bjorn and Mr. Kwan?"
What? Who? I'm sorry. I don't know you. How do you know that? How do you know that name?
Well, that's your name.
No, it's not.
Well, last I saw you, I knew you were hit over the head, but I didn't know it was quite that hard.
And I am going to turn a shade that no one has seen me turn before. And I'm going to look at everybody, and then I'm going to look at Thaddeus. Thaddeus. And I'm going to say, Amity's my twin sister. She died when we were 10. What do you mean you saw me last?
She's alive.
What do you mean she's alive?
That's actually, she's never mentioned a twin.
am going to stumble
You have a
back.
twin named Amity?
She's dead. She's dead. She was the little girl in the mud. That was her. That was the last time I saw her. She's dead. She looks just like me, except for instead of green, she's got blue hair and blue runes. I mean, she's me, but she's...
Yeah, it's crazy. Spitting image.
She's dead. She's been dead for years, for decades.
Where did you see her last?
I don't know exactly how long I've been in this box, but it couldn't have been more than a few months ago.
Where?
We were down in Flaston. Last I saw her.
What do you mean she got hit over the head? And I'm going to now... Can I physically remove his head?
Oh, yeah.
From just his head?
Yeah.
I would like to physically reach back in and remove his head and hold it in my hands. Like, sort of shaking, but like very like shaky with my hands. Like, where, when, who, tell me, who are these other people you mentioned?
We were all traveling together. It was me and Amity and Bjorn and Mr. Kwan, and we were just like, there were rumors of this paladin down south who was like taking on this dragon, and we were sort of checking that out when there was sort of some orcs that came and got us, and kicked some ass and took some names, and then I don't really remember much after that.
How long ago was this?
I'd say maybe 2 months ago.
You're telling me that my sister, you were with her 2 months ago?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
March. He's telling the truth.
Oh, right. You cast that truthy spelly thingy.
I gesture to the tepid air around us that's still kind of misty with ashes.
We have to make that save too, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to stumble back and fall on the ground, sitting, still holding his head in my hands, and just like my whole body just trembling, just in confusion and emotion and anger.
March, what's the last thing you remember about your sister?
She was with my mom. She was with my dad. They were in the shop. When we were kids, we ran a textile shop and we lived above it. I used to really be into clothes and stuff, and I had always said I wouldn't become this, and that I would deal with clothes and deal with fabrics. And then there were gangs, and they were fighting, and they always fought. And then one time they finally came into our street, and everything blew up. Everything. I was the only one who made it out. Everybody else blew up.
You made it out of the burning building?
I was thrown because I was in the front door and everybody else was sitting at the dining table. I had a mentor and he found me. And
Did the mentor tell you that everyone died, or did you see them die?
oh, I watched them all die. Everything was on fire.
Yeah, but I mean, everything was on fire in the warehouse we were in, and not everyone died. So, is it possible that you just think everyone died? But they didn't?
But then why would she not try to find me?
Well, maybe she doesn't remember.
I guess you could remember your name and nothing else?
I remember her. I remember her because I talked to her with Orion every day. It's all we talked about, and then Orion had to help me with understanding how to let him go and let her go and let my parents go. He was the one who pulled me.
Pulled you from the building, from the flames?
Well,
Or from your despair?
maybe both, perhaps. But he trained me. He taught me. And then when I lost him, then that was... It's all along... I'm sorry, if you're going to tell me that Amity's alive, then you're telling me that Orion's alive, and well, Orion's definitely not alive. I definitely saw that happen. But that's where the context is I'm so used to... I don't know, Alma. I don't know what to think right now.
Well, if your sister's really alive, that's exciting, isn't it? I mean, you thought you were all alone, but you have family. Real family.
You guys have sort of been doing a great job at fitting that bill, and... Except Kayla.
Your sister's alive, March.
March, if I knew my family, if I knew where my family was...
If she's alive, I can't be here.
What?
You know that I would do anything for all of you, but if she's truly alive, if Amity is somewhere on this planet, and I'm gonna drop the head and just sort of put my head in my hands now.
I'm gonna react to catch that.
Oh, thank you.
Sure thing.
But if she's, if you are telling the truth and my sister is alive, then I have to find her.
Where did you last see her? You said Flaston?
Yeah, Flaston. It's a little, quite a ways south.
Are you pretty familiar with Kaldur?
Yeah, I've been traveling it for a while.
Cal, do you think we should put his body back together and maybe he can help March?
Well, can we?
Can we what?
Help her. I don't want you to go.
I know, but, you guys have... This is just as big as... I never in 10 million years expected to be opening a box and yet another warehouse and somebody... Nobody knows that name. I never say her name. I've never said her name. Nobody knows her name. And if he knows her name, and Cleric has cast a spell on him to tell the truth, then what is the likelihood that he's lying? Because it seems like it's slim. It seems like it's none.
It's by my account, March, and I wouldn't lie to you. There's a 0% chance that he's lying, at least to the best of his knowledge. I mean, he could be completely deranged, but if he's of sound mind, and I kind of look at the weirdness of his construction, then your sister's alive.
Sad. When you saw Amity last, and I'm gonna kind of there's gonna be a gulp choke when I say it. Did she have any burns or scars, or what did she look like? Is she happy? Is she okay?
She's got some burns on her, I guess. But they look pretty well healed. But it's kind of that whole thing you've got going on with the runes on your skin. She's got that too.
She's blue, right?
Yeah.
We were the same. Does she still have the white streak? She hated the white streak.
Yeah, she's kept it.
When we were really young, she tried to chop it off and then tried to coat it in dirt, and she said she didn't think that she should have the white. She thought it should be black and I should have white, and then we would truly be two halves of the soul. It was really silly, I know, but that's just...
I've never seen her do anything like that. She's kept it white.
Okay. I have to find her. I have to. If she's real and existing...
I would be able to sort of direct you to at least to the crossroads that would take you down to where we were last in Flaston, but if you guys would be able to take me, I'd really appreciate you guys taking me over to Solaris. I've got a guy over there who can help if I'm being shipped to somewhere. I don't really want to be found again, so I know a guy there that can sort of keep me hidden from tracking. So would you guys be able to take me there? I can show you the road to go down to Flaston. I can show you that much.
Oh. We're really stirring the pot with this. If we remove you from here, we'll make an enemy of people we don't even know and the people who own this warehouse. Unless we can do it discreetly, I guess.
We've already got people after us.
We can go up through the roof again, right?
It could just be... maybe you guys can go up through the roof and I'll tell them, me and March will leave out the front.
Yeah. Maybe we put a box over the top of this one just so it doesn't look... Oh, maybe we shouldn't move a box.
Shreya, can you make it look like it's not broken?
I suppose I could put what I took out of it back into it. Never tried that.
Thaddeus,
Suppose it could work.
how attached are you to your body? I mean, figuratively.
At the current moment, not very. Looking at it, can you just rotate? Can I see it?
Sure. Sorry.
Thank you. Crap. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be much of a use at this point. I just don't think it's got enough power to sustain anything. I hate to say it, but at this point, I think I'm just going to be ahead until I can, find a better body.
That suits us as far as transferring you. So, and for all intents and purposes, all we've done is, just removed one part of what's being shipped. So,
and if you're concerned about somebody coming after you, I know a guy in Solaris who he can wipe all traces of me from any sort of magical or non-magical detection. So you guys wouldn't have to worry about a thing.
Right. Sounds good to me. I wouldn't want to let you sit inside a box any longer than you already have.
Well, I guess I could just put you in my backpack for now, just to get out.
Cleric, I did see you using an expert ability to mend things earlier. Does this fall within the range of your skills to attach his head back to that body?
I'm not a mechanic, Shreya. I can repair a seam.
I don't think it's that it's broken is the issue. It just looks like doesn't have enough power.
Also, I think the less we take from here, the better. So if we don't need to take the body, then it's almost like we didn't take anything.
It would seem that Thaddeus' identity is rested well enough in his noggin. So, why don't you guys exit out the top? Me and March will go out front. Thaddeus, you'll show us the way to Flaston, to Amity.
Yes.
And then we'll take you to Solaris.
That sounds good to me.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about crystals that store people's souls in them?
Nope, not a thing.
Just that. Yeah. Well.
Okay. Well, I'll just take you then. Is this okay? Do you mind if I hold you like this? And I put my hands on his cheeks.
That's good. That's fine. That seems stable.
Okay. This is weird.
Oh, you're telling me.
Weird.
I'm just cradling his head.
I sure hope there's no other living beings in any of these crates as I sort of look across the sea of
maybe one day.
Shipping crates.
And it hits you for a second as you're looking over these crates. There's really no way to know. right, we ready to go?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to fix the box dryer or try?
I will do what I can.
And then I touch the bottom of my staff back to the wood. An attempt to do.
I
in
will
reverse
assist
what I
him with
just done.
mending. We can sort of try and
Yeah,
team up
Ooh,
on the
nice.
repair there.
for sure. Yeah, with mending, and it goes back like nothing had ever happened.
High five, Shia.
Sure.
Oh, watch the talent. You flatten it.
Sorry.
It's all right, next time.
Okay, do you guys want to wait until we go out the roof?
I think that's wise.
Okay.
Leave no
well,
trace.
Raya, I'm ready.
All right. Up we
Okay.
go.
And as you guys head up through the ceiling, March and Cleric, you guys walk out the same door that you guys had walked in. And as you guys walk out, hey, did you guys find anything?
There were some remnants of the same kind of crystals that we've become familiar with, but they were unproblematic. But you know, it is in your best interest to keep an eye out if any of that stuff comes through. Keep a heavy eye on it.
All right,
It's dangerous stuff.
we will.
I thank you for your time and your generosity. May the light be with you.
And I appreciate you getting to the bottom of this.
That's what we do.
I'm gonna have stumbled out past Cleric as he's still saying his goodbyes, mumbling words that aren't even coherent or audible, kind of thing. Just walk past the guard and Cleric.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
All right. You too.
I'll try to sort of cover up her stumbling back. Just overzealous cheerfulness.
All right. So yeah, as you guys exit the building, you guys walk away for a couple minutes as you meet up with the rest of the party who exited through the top.
All right, Thaddeus. You want to lead the way?
Yeah. All right.
Get us to the crossroads.
Just west of here. And he points you guys in the right. Well, doesn't point, but tells you guys the right direction.
I've handed Thaddeus off to Cleric, and I am standing next to March, and I just reach up and I grab her hand as we're walking.
So you guys.
And I'm gonna have just on my end at her doing that, I'm gonna have just kind of one tear go down and just sort of look down at her and just say, she was younger than you, Alma. We were both younger than you.
That must have been really hard to think for this long that she was dead, but she's not.
I'll believe it when I see her.
It's kind of hopeful, you know? That, like, anything is really possible, and that you really can find your home,
She's...
you know?
If Amity's alive, then anything in this world is possible, Alma. Trust me on
Anything?
that. Anything. Well and truly anything.
Yeah. Anything.
And I'm going to just look down at her and just say, I have to leave you. You know this, right?
But you'll come back.
Of course I will. Maybe. Come back with Amity, although I don't understand why she didn't talk about having a sister.
You're not, like, gonna go. I mean, you're gonna find your sister, but I mean, we've been together forever, so you're gonna come back for me, right?
I'd always come back for you, Alma. And I'm gonna stop walking real quick and kind of drop to one knee and just sort of look at her and continue holding her hand and put the other hand on her, but then put the other hand on her shoulder and then reach into my pouch. And I'm gonna have in my hand, it's kind of closed, and I'm gonna open it and go, remember when Flynn gave me this acorn? Felt like years ago, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be to remember the good times. So I want you to hold on to it for me until I come back. Can you do that for me?
Yeah. I can hold on to it for you. But I'm just holding on to it for you, so you have to come back and get it back.
Yeah, I will. And if you see a version of me out there that looks like me but has blue hair, just reminder that she has a sister. God, I can't believe she's alive. It's weird to think about, you know, Alma? You thought something was one way for so long that that's how it's been. And then I found this family, and I had a family, and I had a family again. And I just want you to know. I mean, I know you know, but I want you to know that just because Amity's alive does not mean you are not my family.
You're my family too.
Cleric will look after you. Maybe even Flynn. Shreya for sure. I think these are good people. I think that they will make sure that you're okay. And on a positive note, if we're separated, maybe there won't be so much attention brought to us with the hologuard looking for us and everything.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. But you'll be safe?
Always. You better be safe. Although, let's be real here. Did you ever really need protection?
Yeah. I needed you.
You always have me. You know, somewhere out there, in this great, ridiculous world, you'll be able to talk to me, and you know I'll answer.
Yeah. You're not going anywhere. We'll still be together.
Once I figure
You're
this
gonna
out.
find her,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll come back together.
Once I find her. Once I find her, we'll be back. And then, I'm gonna kind of nudge her. Then there'll be two of us. There's that one giant Goliath was annoying. Wait till you get the second one.
Can't even imagine it. Wow.
My eyes are going to glaze over again really quickly, just sort of like imagining what Amity could look like now. And then kind of snap back to it. And I'm going to just stand up really quick and go, you keep that acorn. Don't tell Flynn I gave it to you. I'm sure he's going to, go on about sentimental stuff and friendship rope and all that good stuff. So
Well, I'm just holding on to it for you. So it's still yours. I'm just gonna keep it safe.
good plan. And I'm going to stand back up on my feet and continue to hold her hand as we walk forward.
All right. And after you guys travel for a little while, the swamp completely clears up as you guys are greeted by these grass fields in front of you, beautiful rolling hills once again. And you guys are able to travel a little bit easier as the path away from Blackpool once again meets your feet. And after traveling for a little while, walking, you guys see in front of you a fork in the road, one continuing west to Solaris and one heading south. And you guys approach this crossroads. What would you like to do?
Thaddeus, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Is it this way, you said?
That way.
Thanks, Thaddeus. This was unexpected, but It's not all bad. Not all bad. I'm gonna kind of turn and look at everybody.
How far is it to Solaris or to Flaston? That
It'll
is.
probably be a couple days, maybe a few weeks travel.
Right. March, I hope you understand that I'd like to help you find your sister. But,
I understand, Cleric. Besides, I'm gonna need you here. And I'm gonna try and whisper it slightly to just look out for Alma for me. You know I'll be back.
of course, March. Of course. We'll find the source of these, crystal dwellers. These monstrosities. And we'll put an end to whatever kind of legacy the Red Wolf left behind.
I trust that. I know you will. And I look forward to seeing you again one day. I know that you never thought us as comrades or buddies, but I always did. So, thank you. You're a good man.
I don't know what to say.
I'm just gonna kind of clamp down on his shoulder again, as I had previously, and just kind of nod my head and then just sort of turn to Shreya quickly and... Well, my feathered friend? And I would like to take out the last of my 2 javelin and hand them to Shreya. You wanted these, and it didn't make sense at the time, but I think I've got 2 warhammers now, and I think that's going to be enough, so why don't you take these?
I cannot accept these on our parting without giving you 2 of my own.
And I take out 2 that I crafted and hand them to her. And then I use my talon and I carve out a little inscription on the bottom of one that says, "To those who know the tip of this blade, may they tremble."
I'm going to look at it and sort of expecting, always better than my javelins ever could be. Thanks, Shreya. I'll see you soon, I promise.
It can't come soon enough.
And then I'm going to drop down to my knees and look at Flynn and go, you know, Flynn, you're really just the best of us. But you already knew that. And you'll figure it out. You've got it going on. And like I told you, the horns are kind of fun.
Well, thanks. Maybe one day I'll think that too. But I wish I had something to give you. I don't. And I'm rummaging through my souvenir bag. I'm like, no.
I'm gonna put my hand over his hands as he's rummaging and go, nah.
I wish, I didn't prepare,
You know, for me, it's always been about memories. I had those memories of Amity, and now that I know she's alive, I can't wait to make more. And once I do that, I'm gonna come back here and be with everybody else as well, okay?
Yeah. I'll hold you to that.
It'll be fine. Besides, you're kind of a badass, so.
Just wait until you see me later.
And as we all know, you're the biggest threat. So.
Yeah. Maybe with these horns now.
Maybe. And then I'm going to stand back up, sort of turn my back to start walk away, walk down the path, but immediately just instinctually just freeze and immediately turn back around, drop to my knees, and just literally pull Alma into the biggest bear hug ever. I'll see you soon.
Yeah. Be safe.
Always.
I squeeze. And I hold the acorn in my hand.
I'm gonna let her, like, pretend to squeeze me as hard as she can, like, kind of thing. And then I'm gonna just get up and start on my path. And as I start on my path, I'm gonna continue to do kind of like, you know, waves and nods and everything.
March! I hope you find what you're looking for. And that it's everything you ever wanted.
You too, Alma. And Shreya. And Flynn. And even Cleric.
You never once pronounced my name correctly, March. Never once in your life.
I did that. I did it on purpose. And just keep walking on.
And with that, March heads off on a journey of her own to find her long-lost sister. As the rest of you stand there at this crossroads, stand there in silence for a few minutes until March crests a hill off in the distance and her head, her shoulders, everything disappears beyond the hill. And you stand there in silence for a few moments before you all collect yourselves once again. Face west, look on towards the city of Solaris in the distance, and you begin walking silently. And as you approach the city, you see the bustling entrance that is in the gates of this huge wall surrounding Solaris, being a military occupied city. People coming and going through the gates, but you all sort of keeping to yourselves, quiet, not really paying much mind to people bumping into each other and yelling when a man's cart is turned over. And you guys walk into the city where Thaddeus directs you towards an inn. And as you guys walk into the inn, there's a nice roaring fireplace. And Cleric, you set Thaddeus's head down on the counter as Thaddeus talks to the innkeep, seemingly recognizing Thaddeus. And they talk for a little bit, but you guys don't really pay much attention. You guys are sort of just keeping to yourselves. Thaddeus tells you that you guys have a room for the night and that his contact will most likely take a day or two to get back to him. And he mentions to you guys that along with him being cleared of any tracking, he would also be able to help you guys out with that too, where his contact would be able to completely wipe you guys clean of any sort of magical or non-magical tracking that presumably the Hollow Guard would be trying to find you guys with. You guys go up to your room and you guys sit down and you guys look through the window, this little glass pane, as you guys get a perfect view of the sun setting over the horizon. And as the sun just sets over the horizon with its golden glow now pouring into the room, you guys all look at each other. You guys pick out your beds, lay out your cots. And as you guys go to sleep for the night, that is where we're going to end this episode. Thank you all so much for listening, and we can't wait to see you all again next week. Bye, nerds.
Bye, nerds.
Bye, nerds. Hey, it's Shane. Thanks so much for listening to that episode of Venture Forth. If you like what you heard, give us a rating on iTunes, preferably 5 stars, but, do what you gotta. And you can like us on other social media platforms and, subscribe. And let your friends know they should subscribe, if you want to. But with that said, we are saying goodbye, at least temporarily, to our friend Bridget and our comrade March. She may return in future sessions. I'm going to leave that to DM Ethan to sort out. But if you want to hear a little bit more on that, we are going to release a little bonus episode where we're just sort of chatting about Bridget's departure. And, if I think at one point she gives a special, call out to the listeners. So look around, be on the lookout for that, and look around. With that, thank you so much, and have a great day.